Hi everyone. Today we're going to look at just how it's done as it pertains to wood carving and wood carving projects that are completed by us here at Darkwood Woodcarving. So the first thing we do is to lay out the pattern or the design. For more complicated projects and more complicated designs, we would design it all out on a board by hand or paper, and then transfer that onto the project, as you can see here. So first I'd like to say that as you can see here, this project is oak. It's a tabletop or end table for a set. It has a rose carved in completely in the top, and then it'll be stained and epoxied on top of that, and maybe a little bit of color. But I say oak because oak is very difficult to carve. It's one of the hardwoods, obviously. However, it does look really quite nice when it comes to tabletops. You'll also notice that we only use traditional carving tools. You might say old school way of doing it. However, it takes a skill, and I've been doing this for 35 years, to get this right. To learn all the tricks, you might say, to the trade. So we work our way around the table, just carving out where it needs to be carved, smoothing it all down, getting ready for a sanding phase that may come at the end. It depends. Sometimes we like to leave it a more natural look and leave the carving tool marks in it so you can physically see that it was hand done. It gives it texture, or we will completely smoothen it out, and that'll give it more of a finished, refined look. It all depends on what we want to achieve at the end. Bottom line is we use traditional carving tools to create these works of art, and they're all done by hand. Now there are several different types of tools that we use, everything from called a V-tool or a parting tool, which you've seen me use here a couple times, and or a straight gouge, usually a spoon gouge or something like that. It flares out like a spoon at the end, and it has about a number 9, we call it. It's got a nice smooth curve to it. It prevents the edges from catching on the wood as you dig into it. So it's quite a nice, useful tool to have. It's one I use quite often, especially when I'm starting to relief carving such as this and dropping the surrounding wood around the carving to bring to pop the carving out, to bring the carving out. That's one of the tricks. And one of the tricks also to the trade is that shadow shows depth. So what I mean by that is if you just carve it and seal it all in one color, you wouldn't actually see the carving. It wouldn't be deep enough to create the carving. So the deeper you go and the more shadow, as you can see with the lighting I've got here, the more shadow on the carving provides more depth. Gives you that a feel of depth, and especially when it comes to something you want to achieve to make a 1-inch thick piece of wood look 3-dimensional. You need to get that depth in there, and you need to create the shadows to do that. And I do that using parting tools, spoon gouges, straight gouges, and several other ones. The ones I like to use the most is Stubby Eye, which is a nice company out of Austria. There's also Swiss Made, which is out of Switzerland. Henry Taylor's, you can see a couple I use there. They're a nice one. They're from the UK. They're high quality tools, very expensive, but they're very high quality tools. They're going to last a lifetime for a carver. I've had these ones for probably about 20-25 years now. So as you can see here, finished carving. Now it goes into the sanding phase, cleaning phase, and finally stains and paints and varnishes, or waxes, depending on what I want to achieve, or epoxy, depending if it's tabletop. Thank you very much.